We have reports from Paris that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident.
Diana is seriously injured and 2 other people have died following a car crash.
Is in shock. Diana, Princess of Wales, is dead and Britain is in mourning. The 36-year-old princess was killed in a high-speed car chase in Paris early Sunday morning Australian time.
Princess Diana, the secret bloodline that shook the crown. The night the world stopped. It was just past midnight in Paris, August 31st, 1997. Flashing lights, screeching tires. A black Mercedes S280 tears through the Pont de l'Alma tunnel at high speed, chased by paparazzi desperate for a photograph that would change nothing, yet cost everything. Moments later, the car slams into a concrete pillar. Inside, Princess Diana, Dodi Fayed, and driver Henri Paul. By the time rescuers reached the wreckage, Dodi and Henri were already gone. Diana was barely alive. She was rushed to Piti-Salpêtrière Hospital, but the people's princess, the woman who had redefined the image of royalty, did not survive. News anchors across the world broke the story. Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car crash. Britain was in mourning. The world was in shock. A candlelit sea of grief formed outside Kensington Palace. But as the nation wept, something darker was already unfolding behind closed doors. A mystery sealed within a single piece of jewelry, the locket. In the chaos following Diana's death, her personal items were quietly gathered and flown back to London. Her clothes, her letters, a few pieces of jewelry. Among them was one item that didn't make it into the official royal inventory, a small, heart-shaped gold locket Diana always wore when she traveled privately. It wasn't royal. It wasn't even expensive. It was personal. A gift, a good luck charm, and, unknowingly, the key to one of the greatest secrets the monarchy would ever face. In 1999, 2 years after the crash, the locket resurfaced, not in Britain, but inside a private archive in Geneva. It was sealed, labeled with a biometric code, and stored under strict temperature control. For decades, no one opened it. No one dared. Until 2025, a private biomedical organization purchased the locket at a discreet Swiss auction. Inside, technicians found a single strand of hair. They ran a DNA test. The results? A 100% match with Diana's official genetic archive. But that wasn't the shock. The real shock was what came next. The gene that didn't belong. The analysis revealed an anomaly, a paternal divergence. In simple terms, a portion of the genetic sequence didn't align with Diana's known royal or aristocratic bloodline. It hinted at something hidden, something that didn't fit the centuries-old idea of pure British nobility. And when experts rechecked the locket sample against the royal archives, another revelation surfaced, a second DNA pattern. A woman's, born in 1987, living in the United Kingdom, no royal title, no family connection, at least not on paper. Her name was Sarah. The test showed a 50% genetic match between Sarah and Diana, scientifically confirming a mother-daughter relationship. Sarah had been born at a private London clinic, her mother's name listed as unknown. Adopted within her first year, she had no idea who she really was. When told the truth, she refused fame, money, or royal contact. She asked for only one thing: that the DNA files confirming her existence be preserved in the Spencer family archive, the house Diana came from. The secret daughter. In 1987, the royal calendar showed Diana taking a mysterious 3-week break. No official engagements, no press appearances, and no explanation from Buckingham Palace. But archived private budgets revealed something hidden: an off-record payment from the Spencer account to a private London medical facility not tied to the royal chain. It was the same clinic where Sarah's birth records were later found. If true, this meant Diana had a third child, a daughter whose existence was erased before it ever became public. When the royal inner circle learned about the DNA results, shock turned into panic. Because the revelation didn't just affect Diana's memory, it threatened the entire line of succession. The next tests would destroy what was left of royal certainty. Harry's DNA. Rumors had always followed Prince Harry. Whispers that he didn't resemble his father, Prince Charles, and that his red hair came from someone else entirely. For years, the palace ignored it. But now, with the locket data in hand, an independent lab ran a comparative test using samples from Charles and Harry. The result was clear. No paternal match. Harry's Y chromosome, the strand passed exclusively from father to son, did not align with Charles. Instead, it matched a different man entirely. James Hewitt, a former British Army officer and Diana's rumored lover from the mid-1980s. For decades, both Diana and Hewitt had denied that their relationship began before Harry's birth. But DNA doesn't lie. The discovery sent shockwaves through the monarchy. William saw the results first, then Charles, then Harry. Within 48 hours, all three men met privately at a secure royal estate outside London. No statement was ever made. No documents were released. But the royal press office abruptly suspended all public engagements for more than a week. Inside the palace, the walls of lineage began to crumble. The family meeting. William convened an emergency session at Kensington Palace. Present: Kate, 3 royal advisors, a legal representative, and a member of the Windsor Inner Council. Their purpose, to decide what to do with the findings. Kate reportedly voiced her concern not about scandal, but about image. If the world finds out, she said, it changes everything, not just for Harry, but for all of us. William demanded full access to the reports on Diana, Sarah, and Harry. He needed the truth unfiltered. Meanwhile, Harry, living in California, requested his own birth and medical records from St. Mary's Hospital, the same place he was born. The request was granted quietly. Across the Atlantic, a family once defined by control was now being held hostage by science. The bloodline that never fit. But the genetic revelations didn't stop with paternity. A deeper study into Diana's DNA revealed something no royal historian had expected. Her maternal genome, the biological line passed through generations of women, carried traits not found in any known European aristocratic family. The markers pointed somewhere else entirely: South Asia. Researchers traced this lineage back to an 18th century woman named Eliza Kawark, a maid from Gujarat, India, who had lived with an English merchant family. Eliza's descendants eventually married into the Spencer line. Through that connection, a small but undeniable piece of Indian ancestry entered the British nobility, and decades later reached Diana. She never knew the full truth, but in letters to her mother, Diana wrote, "I feel like I don't belong to them. Something in my blood tells me I come from somewhere else." For the first time in royal history, the British crown carried genes that traced back to the Indian subcontinent, the very empire Britain once ruled. The locket reopens everything. The locket that started it all, a tiny gold pendant, has now become one of the most significant historical artifacts of the 21st century. Inside it lies not just a strand of hair, but a chain of truths that rewrites the lineage of the monarchy. The test confirmed. Diana had a hidden daughter, Sarah. Harry was not Charles's biological son. Diana herself carried a genetic heritage that connected the royal family to South Asia. 3 findings, 3 truths, each one powerful enough to shake the foundation of an empire built on bloodlines. The crown and the truth. The British royal family has remained silent. No press release, no denial, no acknowledgement. But within private archives, sealed reports circulate, confirming that the family now recognizes at least one additional descendant of Diana. Sarah remains anonymous, refusing interviews and public appearances. She teaches quietly in a small town in England, living far from the cameras that once haunted her mother. William continues his royal duties. Harry, now separated from the system that defined him, has found new meaning in the truth. As for the monarchy, its story will never be the same again. Diana once wrote in her diary, "The truth doesn't need to belong to anyone, so long as it isn't buried." And maybe, just maybe, this was the truth she meant to leave behind. A truth that could no longer be hidden, no matter how many crowns tried to cover it. The legacy lives on. Princess Diana's legacy was never just about charity, compassion, or rebellion. It was about humanity and the courage to live truthfully in a world built on illusion. Nearly 3 decades after her death, The locket she wore has become more than a keepsake. It's a symbol, a reminder that even within the walls of the most powerful dynasty on Earth, blood cannot lie. The world will keep asking questions. And someday, the answers may finally come from the one thing that never forgets: our DNA.